Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your November 2020 overview reading. Happy birthday to those of you who have birthdays coming up or that have already passed. I do have a bonus card for you because it is your season, so please make sure you stay tuned until the very end after the 3-card pick so that you can get the bonus card. Please take a moment to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already so you can get more of my amazing, wonderful, fantastic, delightful readings for yourself. And check me out on Instagram at Onyx Healing. Sign up for my newsletter because you get a free meditation and a reading on every single Sunday. And if you would like to learn more, go to onyxhealing.com. All right, baby, let's do this. All right, let's start with the Oracle cards, shall we? First thing we have coming up is the Eternal Child. Okay, lots of stuff coming up. One, getting back to purity and innocence. Now, what I mean by that is more about not judging the experience that you have with your wounds, right? Because if you go all the way back to the origin point of that wound or reaction or experience that you're having in present time, it's living somewhere in your experience as like the organic child, if that makes sense. So if you can have compassion for the version of you that was originally wounded, wherever that showed up for you in this life and in this incarnation, it can help you soften and not beat yourself up, because being hard on yourself actually creates more resistance. Like, it doesn't allow any of the trauma or the wounding to move. It just creates a whole bunch of contraction. So coming back to this sense of like purity and innocence in the experience that you're having is a really great practice. So the other thing is obviously inner child work. Anytime you have the child archetype come up, you can't really ignore inner child work. And the third thing is play. Go back to play. Make it fun. Make it a game. Make it enjoyable. How can you breathe more life into the experience? The animal card is Phoenix, rising from the ashes. So it's like there's a huge surge of energy in November. I think that this is like a really big comeback with anything you've been feeling like you're in a slump around. I don't see this so much as you, but more of a specific area of your life. So that's a really clear distinction that's coming up in this reading, is it's not like you have necessarily experienced a rock bottom. That's not what this is about. Some of you, sure, but there's many of you who have just been feeling like in a slump around money, or in a slump around love, or in a slump around some specific arena in your life, family, career, whatever. And so wherever that slump or lack of energy or lack of inspiration has been living, you're going to see a huge spike in November as far as what you're bringing to the table and what you have energy and bandwidth for. So expect this. It should be good. It should be exciting. But there's a lot of, I'm just getting a huge like fuel injection for you in the month of November. Okay, and then we have the Epiphany, trust the aha. Don't wait for a download, explore curiosities now and the truth will find you. Ask your dreams to guide you to the answer. I like all of these. Trust the aha. That's telling me where you feel your body expanding, whatever that is. Trust that natural, like gravitational pull of your spirit. Like that's what's gonna lead you in the right direction. Okay, the central energy for you in November is the Empress. This is allowing yourself to receive and shifting into divine feminine. So your receptive frequency is what's going to be worked on in the month of November. So just receiving more. How much can you hold? How much can you allow to come to you? This is shifting out of being the hunter and shifting into being the receiver. And so that is a big factor here, healing the feminine. And I want to be really clear, that is not going to be the core thing that you want to embody if that's not in alignment with your expression in this lifetime. If you're masculine dominant energetically speaking, and so this would be something that's more aligned with like healing your feminine, because we experience them both, right? We have to work with both the shadow masculine, feminine, the aligned, the higher expressed masculine and feminine. And so this month's focus is on working with feminine energy in a way that's really aligned with you. The crossing energy is the high priestess. Okay, so we have just more of that really intuitive feminine energy coming through. This, I'm getting a lot of body work is going to be important. This is a time to really trust your intuition, anchor into that. And the receiving, when I'm saying receiving frequency, it's also about receiving intuitive hits, receiving information, receiving God, receiving money, receiving pleasure, receiving, and using the astral as a playground. Like the high priestess is just really in tune with the astral, and that's where you can build from. So have fun in meditation or whatever meditative state you like to get into, however that happens for you. Allow that to be where you play and create in the month of November. Sometimes it's a big action-taking month. This is very, very heavy on the yin. So this is about generating energy from that yin space, from the savasana, I suppose, if we want to go from a yoga approach. And so the phoenix, like this surge of energy, is not, it's not so much about execution and like getting things done and tasking all day. Don't think about it like that. It's more about I have the energy to align myself with my mission or my soul's purpose. That's what is generating the movement. It's kind of like the source energy is actually what moves you. It's not coming from this forceful place. And so you're lining all of that up. Sorry, this reading is just quite intense. So you're just going to have to deal with it. Okay, what you have shifting out is the Three of Cups. I think this actually has to do with ideas and perceptions of other people, because I'm getting that there's kind of a lot of chatter. The thing that's coming up with the birds is like noise. So you are getting more focused and soul aligned rather than like doing what you think maybe other people want you to do, or does my friend think this is good or bad? Let me check in with a friend so that they can project their judgment onto the moves that I'm making. You're really shifting away from that and just going into the yin, the quiet within yourself, and trusting your intuition, your soul, your alignment. That's where the trust and the support and the energy is all coming from. Generating energy is going to come from the yin in November for you. So it's like you're really moving away from seeking approval elsewhere if you've been in that habit, or even just been consulting friends or asking for a lot of reassurance from friends. It looks like that is really moving out. The oncoming energy is the Ace of Wands. See, more energy, but I want to be clear that this is not coming from a burnout space. It's not coming from this idea that you have to wake up at 5 a.m. and have like a Tony Robbins type of morning. Like, I'm sorry, that's not universally aligned, right? So don't think about it in terms of like what's a box that someone else has created. No. This Ace of Wands is just showing you that, like the Phoenix, there's this huge surge of energy that's happening, and it's coming from this space of just getting in touch with your soul, getting in touch with source, getting in touch with like I'm divinely compelled to do these things from a place of overflow, from a place of my soul is bursting as I do this. And so the Ace of Wands is like the initiation doesn't actually require heavy energetic output because it's a natural extension of your alignment. Okay, sorry if I'm getting esoteric here. Let's move into what's happening in your external world. So this is everything that's happening like outside, what's materializing in the 3D. We have the Four of Pentacles. This is a need for boundaries. I'll clarify this one. Let's see what else is coming up on the table. But the main thing is like helpful constraints around everything. I'm not getting that this is contraction so much, but there is some reservation, and I'm getting that that's because there's so much yin, this concentrated energy right in the center. It makes sense that there isn't going to be a heavy output outside of yourself. This is all about calling in the things that you want, need, and desire. And then we have the Ten of Swords. Interesting. What else do we have coming up? And then we have the Magician. Okay, so I'm getting a few things coming up. Let me pull a clarifier just to see, get a little bit more context on what I'm finding here. The Moon. Okay. So the Ten of Swords is breakdown, right? It's the, like what we experience as the death part of the cycle, because that's how everything is, right? Death, rebirth, death, rebirth, death, rebirth, breakdown, breakthrough, breakdown, breakthrough. That's the ebb and flow of the human experience that we have. And so personally, I don't experience a lot of anxiety around the Ten of Swords, and I don't recommend that you do either, because these are things that can be benign. It's something that could be like, oh, I'm just removing everything that no longer serves me, or maybe you're getting something off your plate, or you're delegating, or you're bringing something to an end. The Magician, this is all of the stuff you've been asking for. Okay, so it looks like what needs to go, what you need to set boundaries around, is the thing that has been either causing confusion, uncertainty, and has been triggering fogginess. The main takeaway in the environment, whatever you're experiencing outside of yourself, whatever is happening in your world, if it's giving you a moon experience. What I mean by that is this is like Neptune energy. It's like, I don't know, I'm uncertain, I don't know if this feels right, this doesn't feel quite like it's me. It's very dreamy, and this is standard like Mercury retrograde energy. And so that's the thing that needs to either be reworked, you need to set boundaries around, or there's an indication that something wants to be released. So during the month of November, your environment is going to reflect back to you exactly what needs to go and where you need to set boundaries. So you don't need to fear the Ten of Swords. That's not necessary. It's telling you, it's kind of like a pain point. Like in your body, if you look at everything as like a reflection of the body, if you were touching a hot stove and it burned, you would stop doing it. And that's what the Ten of Swords is. If there's a hot stove environmentally that you keep touching, it's about cutting that out and letting that go, letting it die, releasing it. Because it seems that what this is in service of, the boundaries and the release, however that's materializing for you in the external, is creating space and cultivation for the things that you've asked for. Whatever the intention is, whatever you've been building. All of that is coming into play. I'm just getting that there are things that you are probably actively still giving energy to that need to be cleaned up. November is a month of deep, deep, deep cleaning on a soul level. So this is about cutting Like, cut the shit, get back to source. That is what November is all about. And it's kind of like the rewards are big. You set boundaries, you cut what isn't needed, then you have the things that you've been asking for, the things that you've been working for. You have the bandwidth to manifest. Pay close attention to what puts you in a bad mood, like what activates and triggers bad feelings, confusion, uncertainty, or pulls you out of alignment. As soon as you get clear on what that is, I would even like just make notes throughout your day. Is there some media that you're consuming that makes you feel bad? Is there a friend that you keep calling and you just feel bad after the conversation? It's like, set boundaries, cut out the media that makes you feel bad, cut out the things that really aren't serving you. Everything in November is going to pull you back to this yin space. The answer is not going to be exert more. 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be hustle harder, do more, execute more. It's kind of like you have to reverse engineer that, because if you're just exerting more and you have these really heavy things that are on your plate and are disturbing you from what you actually want, that's what needs to get cleaned up. It's not about operating at a higher output. So keep in mind, the manifestations, the things that you do want to materialize, you have to cut out the pieces that are pulling you away from that alignment. Okay, so boundaries or removal of distractions in November. This is energetic deep cleaning. Now, this is like advice and what's happening for you internally. We have the 4 of Swords. Man, we can just not get away from this yin energy that's showing up in this reading. And then we have the 9 of Pentacles, enjoying the fruits of your labor. I'm going to pull a clarifier for this as well. This is heavy, heavy manifestation from the space of receiving. So it's rest, celebrating what you have, getting into gratitude, enjoying what you've already built, letting the celebration and the good feeling be what carries over, letting that be what guides you in the month of November. And then we have the 4 of Stars. So this is equivalent to the 4 of Pentacles, which we have up here. I'm telling you, I'm getting that. Be conservative in November. It will help you. Be conservative with your time. Be conservative with your energy. Be conservative with the people that you're giving to. It's like you're going to see this huge injection of like inspiration and energy that wants to go to a specific place. So it's like all of the stuff that you're cleaning up is where you've been squandering energy. This has been a vacuum and a drain, and it's got to go. It needs to be cleaned up immediately, and you're going to feel that intensely in November. You're going to know exactly where your time and energy has been going and where you need to snip it. So use these as helpful cues in your environment, which is telling you what needs to change. Now, down here, the 4 of Swords is saying if you're confused, uncertain, don't know what to do, go back into the yin space of just being, of allowing yourself to be present. There doesn't need to be the exertion. So pull back, go into the yin intuitive space for clarity, and that's what's actually going to refuel you in the month of November. And then the advice is really clear in terms of the 9 of Pentacles, is just let the success materially that you've already had compound, or let the experiences that you've had being present with the goodness that you have in your life, let that compound. And it's like you're already worthy. There's no I'll be worthy when. That's an illusion. Worthiness doesn't exist. That's completely made up. So get into I've already done so much, letting that compound. Okay, now let's do a 3-card pick. So you're welcome to ask a question. You can ask for guidance, clarity, support, whatever you're needing. If you need more time, go ahead and pause the video just to tune in to whichever card is calling to you. Card number 1. Knight of Wands. So this is calling attention to either resistance you have to giving something energy that feels aligned, right? Sometimes we can know what we want to do, what we need to do, what right aligned action there is to take, but we can brush up against edges that make us not want to do the thing. So do some exploring in the resistance without making it a problem, just being curious with it and working with it in order to execute, because that can be a big help. Or this is something where you want to pay attention to your natural energy levels. Is something siphoning off energy? Is it replenishing you? What's it doing to your energy, and using that as a metric to see either what needs to be adjusted within yourself or what changes and boundaries you need to make. Card number 2, we have the 3 of Wands. This is all about, like, you need to map something out, especially because it's sitting right on top of the High Priestess. That's telling me that this is more astral energetic work. What have you mapped out mentally? What have you mapped out energetically for yourself? And letting this be something that you just give yourself permission to do more of. It doesn't need to be, this doesn't even need to be anything that you execute on. You don't have to take a lick of action if you don't want to, right? There's always free will involved. But the important thing that I do want to drive home here is that you need to spend some time daydreaming, fantasizing, and mapping it out mentally, pouring your energy into conjuring up the feelings of the experience itself, mapping that out, kind of creating the blueprint. What does it feel like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like all throughout your senses? Let that be the blueprint that you're working with for yourself. Okay, card number 3. We have the Chariot. So this is a forward movement, very intense karma involved, like the healing, the transformation that's taking place, or the evolution that you're undergoing is really significant. So don't try not to get in your head about it. Stay away from overthinking whatever you have going on, or pulling yourself out of what you've already been really solid and decided about. Trust yourself, trust the process, and don't rush things right now or try to force them forward or get fed up and throw in the towel. Really try to stay away from impulsive things like that, because there's so much that's still unfolding and that's happening. I don't like to mention karma a lot, because I think people have a tendency to want to blame everything on that. But what I will say is that trust the unfolding of what's happening, because there are a lot of karmic elements, not in the sense that things are beyond your control. It's just that keep your alignment, go back to your yin bubble in the month of November, keep the alignment, keep working, allow things to unfold. That's your recipe. Okay, bonus card time. Let's do it. See what else? The final message for you. Ten of Arrows. So this is telling me that things are too full. So even though this is technically equivalent to the Ten of Swords as well, that's not what's being depicted here. This is very clear, death. This is more of, you need to get rid of things, whittle them down and narrow yourself down into a really aligned space. Get clear. The clutter is not helping you. The mental clutter, the indecision, the needing to split yourself in 80 directions, or if you're like consuming too many opinions or thoughts or ideas. It's about reducing consumption, getting laser focused on like your alignment, your energy, your purpose, like really getting focused within yourself, cutting out the nonsense, like cut the shit. Like that is the thing in November for you, is eliminating the things that don't work, eliminating the things that are pain points, and setting boundaries. Like that is what will be the game changer for you. Don't look at elimination as I'm losing something. That's not what it is. Look at elimination as, one, freeing up space for you to actually do the things that are right for you, and two, look at it as just you getting more and more aligned as you trim away the things that you've outgrown. So there's a deep need for you to declutter in November. I'm getting that really strongly, and allow yourself to be fueled by you getting more into alignment, doing more work, and just allowing the energy that you naturally have. And it's like once you cut things away, and you're not getting bogged down by the weight of everything else that you have around, it's like you naturally just get to be an extension of your alignment. It's not more complicated than that. So right now you're in somewhat of a contraction. I mean this in a good way. You're contracting so that you can rework, redefine, and remove things that are not going to be brought with you, especially into 2021. There's a lot going on right now where you need to evaluate, what do I not want to carry with me, and drop it in November and really clean things up at this time. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure. Make sure you watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of the month ahead. Don't forget to subscribe, sign up for my newsletter. I have more good things coming, so stay up to date with me. Check me out on Instagram at Onyx Healing. I am sending you so much love and support. If you would like to work with me or learn more, go to onyxhealing.com, and I will see you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.